welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie if you are new, and I make videos all about houseplants and other houseplant related content here on YouTube, and I release those videos 2 times a week. If you would like to subscribe to this channel and follow me along on this little planty journey that I'm on, that would be great. No pressure, but I did just recently hit 1,000 subscribers, and that's been an amazing milestone for me to achieve on this platform. So thank you so much to everyone who is here and who has subscribed, and welcome any newbies. Today I'm going to be doing a care video on one of my most cherished plants that I have in my collection, and that is a pink confetti milk syngonium. Milk confetti syngonium. This beauty right here. This is a plant that I've had in my collection for about a year now, if not more at this point. And it is, as I mentioned, so special to me because it was sent to me by a subscriber of mine. It's the first and only time that that's happened, that somebody took it upon themselves to send me a plant, and she held it for me over the whole winter time and she sent it to me. It's amazing. Her name was Caroline. Shout out Caroline. Thank you so much for this plant. I love it and I have cherished it for such a long time, and I've had it in such a different array of conditions that I feel really qualified to speak on the care needs of this plant, almost more so than any of my other plants, because I really fiddle around with this one a lot, because as you'll find out, it just does so well everywhere that I like testing the limits of it. So we're gonna go ahead and get into its watering needs, its lighting needs, its humidity needs, the price point you can find it at, propagation, all of that jazz. We're gonna do a full in-depth discussion about this. So let's go ahead and get right into this video. So we can talk about price and accessibility first, because I feel like that's sort of important if you're looking to get your hands on one of these. Like I said, I obviously got mine from a subscriber, so I can't really speak to acquiring it, but I recently saw a plant shop near me selling these in a small 4-inch pot for $150. I don't know why, because I remember, I think Caroline told me this was like $20 or something. I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was super reasonably priced. And I have seen them on Etsy for anywhere from 30 to 50, anywhere between there. So don't overpay for one of these plants, please, please, please. I don't know if that plant shop just didn't know. I don't know, they're a plant shop and they sell a lot of plants, so I don't know what's going on there. They're normally very reasonably priced, but if you see these priced around somewhere that are very expensive, maybe hold off, because they're definitely more accessible. I don't think you can really find them in big box stores unless you just happen to get lucky, but you could probably find them in local nursery stores as well as on places like Etsy like that. So they're not super rare or common, they're sort of somewhere in the middle, but they're really beautiful, and they have these really beautiful, really unique speckly leaves. Let's see if I can even get a better one. This one is oh, stunning. So let's talk about lighting now, because this is the thing that I've experimented with the most on this plant, and I feel like I really have such a deep understanding of how this plant reacts to light at this point. So I will say that I have had this plant in very, very high light conditions to very, very low light, almost no light conditions, just because I've moved it around a lot. And so what I will say is that this plant will literally, it will live and grow. It's been consistently growing since I had it in my home, throwing out new growth all the time, consistently, in even low light conditions. So it will do fine and it will survive pretty much in any conditions. But if you are really looking for that milk confetti vibe, these beautiful speckles, the pretty pink, then you really need to be looking for higher light conditions for this guy. I have had this for about 3 months directly under my Soltech Solutions grow light, several feet below, but directly below. And that is actually how I got this beautiful pink splashy leaves. All these new confetti leaves right there are from that light. And I will say, I have a problem with other syngoniums where if I give them too much light, they'll bleach out. The colors will bleach out and they'll turn yellow or get leaf burn. This is not an issue that I've ever had with this syngonium before. In fact, I feel like they only get even better with more light. And so honestly, like in my entire collection right now anyway, this is the least finicky syngonium that I own. It's incredibly flexible when it comes to all lighting situations. And I really like that you can sort of play around with it, almost like Hoyas in that way, where you can sort of like sun stress them. This is very similar. Like if you want a different sort of patterning, you can kind of adjust your lighting needs to that. And I think that's really amazing. And I just love how forgiving this guy is. You can pretty much put him anywhere and it will grow. It will throw out leaves pretty much regardless. If you are looking to seek out a highlight situation and you're wondering what that is, like I said, I had mine right under my grow light. So you're gonna either want a grow light or a south/west facing window. But I would even say that you really want like some good light exposure if you want this like confetti to really, really pop, because you'll see like on the other sides here, like this is a nice green leaf. This is a nice, well, that one's kind of, like over here, okay, this is a nice like green leaf with a speck of pink, but if you really want those like speckly leaves, you gotta up the light. All right, next let's talk about water. And watering, I feel like, is always sort of tricky when you first get syngoniums. They can be sort of finicky when it comes to water, but as is gonna be a pattern in this video, you will find out, this is one of the most forgiving plants when it comes to water as well. I sort of forget to water her all the time. And so what I have been doing is I have been trying to only water when the leaves get like floppy, almost sort of like this, but I actually just watered her like yesterday, so I think it's still like perking back up. But you will notice, as with a lot of other plants, that the leaves will get sort of like a little bit of a floppy look, sort of like flimsier than they normally are. You know, they sort of like flop over like that. I try to water only when that happens. And when I water deeply all the way through. So I never just pour like a cup of water on top. I put this either under the sink or like get a watering can and water all the way through, like until the water is pouring out the bottom. Saturate the full root ball. And then that holds me over usually for like a month. Like I probably water this once a month. I definitely water it more than once a month if it is in high light. So you really do want to adjust your watering based on, you know, your lighting, because obviously lighting affects how fast water evaporates from the soil. But I get away with watering this about once a month in like moderate light and maybe once every 2 weeks in high light. But obviously, again, you want to adjust based on your needs. But all of that is to say is that this plant does pretty well when you let it dry out. It doesn't want to have wet feet, so you don't ever want to overwater it. But again, even so, like it is very forgiving. I definitely have overwatered it in the past, just like inadvertently, like I've poured water on it and then realized, oh, it was like already a little wet. And I've never lost any leaves. Like I lose leaves obviously because syngoniums lose like old growth, but I've never like lost any leaves to overwatering or had any sort of rot issues or anything like that. So you want to try and dry them out, but it's not going to kill it if you have an accident. I'll touch on soil a little bit, but I don't think I have to spend long on soil because honestly, again, syngoniums, especially more common syngoniums, this one in particular, are very chill when it comes to soil. So I use my regular soil mixture with this, which is organic houseplant mix, like soil mix from Espoma is what I use. And then horticulture charcoal and perlite. That's what this has been in for about 1.5 years now, and it's had no issues. I do notice that the perlite is starting to like rise to the top a little bit. So when I repot it, which I will eventually have to repot it because one of its roots is sticking out the bottom here. But when I repot it, I will probably just add some extra perlite or pumice in there just to refreshen up the soil. But you want a chunky mix for this if you can, but this is not the kind of plant that you really need to stress about the soil. You know, like you don't have to go out and buy any special like aeroid mix or orchid bark or leca or anything like that. This plant is a pretty easygoing plant and it's going to thrive in decently draining soil, especially if you're not overwatering it. It's gonna do just fine pretty much in most soil conditions, I would say, based on my experience. I do want to touch on humidity, even though I don't think it's like the most important thing, but I want to touch on it. And I will say I've never had this plant in like low humidity, so I really can't speak to that. I don't live in a dry climate now, and when I lived in Buffalo and I had a plant room, every plant was living in like pretty high humidity because I had a humidifier in there and I would keep the door closed. So I've always had this plant in like decent humidity, but I will say that I don't notice a difference from high humidity to moderate humidity at all in the growth or the happiness of the plant, to be honest. I try to give my plants all like humidity, so I mean, you probably should too, and you probably are doing that. So I feel like just whatever you're doing in your home, regular little humidifiers, a pebble tray, no humidity, it will probably be fine. It's ideal conditions. Yeah, like maybe like 50 to 60% humidity is like for it. But even if it's lower humidity, again, this plant is so incredibly forgiving. It might lose a few leaves at first, but it really does fine. Last but not least, we will talk about propagations. And if you are a syngonium person, or if you had syngoniums in the past, you know that syngoniums are some of the easiest plants to propagate just in general. And so what I have done is I have propagated this in both water and perlite, which is basically how I do everything. I don't really propagate in moss anymore, or leca, or dirt. I just stick with water or perlite. If you are experienced in perlite propagations, then you probably don't need me to tell you how to do it. But if you are not, you can go and watch, I'll link a video above. It's a emergency plant surgery video, but in that video, I talk about how wet I keep my perlite for moisture propagations. So I'm not gonna really touch on that here. So either I propagate in perlite, and you can go see how I do that above, or you already know how to do it, or water. Water works totally fine with these. It is a syngonium, so it has like these really nice aerial roots. It's very easy to find the node. So you'll just chop where there's some nice little roots poking out there, put it in the water, and you will see roots like within a week, if not days. You really will. I'm not saying that you can pot it up in a week. Definitely don't do that. I usually wait with my propagations until I have secondary roots. So you're looking for like, let's say 3 inches of regular root growth plus some little extra like fuzzy roots that are coming off there. But that's honestly only if I'm feeling patient, because to be honest, sometimes I don't even let my propagations go that far. And I've never had a propagation fail from one of these, even though I've definitely potted before I should. You know, like I've definitely put one of the plants from water into soil before I should do that, and it's been fine. Again, these are an amazing plant. I wanted one of these, like I wanted a pink sort of splashy syngonium, which is why Caroline sent one to me, but I did not know how much I would love this plant. Like I just can't believe how forgiving it is. It's one of the most forgiving plants in my collection, especially for a syngonium, because I really do struggle with other syngoniums. So if you made it to the end of this video and you don't even have one of these, go get one. If you made it to the end of this video and you do have one of these, you're a lucky person, human, girl, guy, non-binary or pale, I don't know. I love them. Look how beautiful. Let's get another shot of her little confetti. Look at her confetti leaves. Oh my God, stunning. All right, that is gonna be the end of today's video. If you made it to the end, I love you. If you wanna leave me a comment down below so we can chat, I respond to all comments. And also definitely comment if you have like further questions, because again, I respond to all comments. So if you need like me to talk you through anything or walk you through anything regarding this plant or other plants, I don't care. I'm down to clown. So let's chat in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. I know that this video, if you made it to the end, you're like, why did you bring this up? This video is a little bit late because we filmed the vlog over the weekend, which I'm very excited about, but the vlog just wasn't ready yet. So that is coming later this week, as well as this video. I hope to see you in my next video. Please subscribe. Please like this video if you want to. I don't know. Bye guys. I'll see you in my next video.